What's going on, YouTube? If you notice, I still sound a little sick. I'm not sick. It's just I have horrible allergies. But if you didn't watch my video from yesterday on record predictions for next season, I would definitely go recommend you watch that before you watch today's video, because we're going to be taking those records and going through the playoffs, award predictions, and the draft order, which will be followed up tomorrow with a 2022 NFL mock draft. So stay tuned for that if you don't want to miss that. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like on the video to help me out, and I can make more of those videos for you guys. And yeah, so let's get into this. Starting off with the playoffs. So there are some very good games here right off the back. Chiefs Patriots would be a great. I'm not even gonna go over them. All of these games would be amazing. Chiefs Patriots. At first glance, it would seem like the Chiefs have an easy win, but the Patriots have built up such a great roster in just this offseason. If they get a quarterback, then they're going to be really, really freaking good. The Bills-Chargers, another glance where maybe the Bills would have an easy win, but the Chargers would put up a hell of a competition in that game. And then the Titans and Ravens, a matchup we just saw this last year, would be another ferocious game. And, could be almost exactly the same. It could be wildly different. One team could blow the other out. That'd be very interesting who wins. That'd be very interesting to see who wins that regardless. Then you got the Rams and the Saints. I think that's one of the more easier games for me. Rams seem like a much better team on paper. So we'll see how that game plays out. Buccaneers and 49ers. The Buccaneers got the band back together, so, they're probably going to be about the same as last year, and if they're the same as last year, they can win the Super Bowl. So, but the 49ers, they're getting healthy, and they got Justin Fields now. They're going to be a good team, too. And then Washington with the Cardinals. Again, both teams are really good. Cardinals got a lot better, and Washington improved as well. So, both very good teams. But moving on to the divisional round, I have, the Chiefs pulling out that win over the Patriots. They're still the much more talented team. The Bills, same thing with them against the Chargers. I think the Titans pull out a win against the Ravens there. I think they're I just think they're a better team. They're both very good teams, but the Titans, I still think that, they're going to be running on all cylinders except for pass defense. And when do the Ravens ever pass? I don't know. Make sure to tell me if you know. So, yeah, I think the Titans are going to win that game. Rams, like I said, pretty easy for me. Saints are just going to kind of squeak into the playoffs there, and the Rams are a much better team. Buccaneers, I already explained, band back together. 49ers will be a very good team, and I can see any of these teams winning any of these games, but this is just kind of how I'd see it playing out, and I think the Buccaneers could win that one. And then the Cardinals going into Washington, beating them. Yeah, the Cardinals are a really, really good team. They're the 7th seed, and they're still a 12-5 team, which is crazy because, the worst teams on here are 12-5, so it's really weird. I think, again, Washington could pull out that win. I like the Cardinals better. I like the talent on that team, but I think they pull out the win. So then we got some interesting divisional matchups here. Browns and the Titans. That would be a very good game. We just had this matchup last year as well. That'd be a very good game. Or did we? No, we did not have that matchup. I don't know what I'm thinking. But yeah, that would be a very good game. And then the Chiefs and the Bills. Rematch of the AFC Championship. Again, that'd be a great game. Packers-Cardinals. Packers come in with that bye, and, they're looking pretty deadly. If anything, better than last year. So the Cardinals have a very tough game there on their plate. And then the Rams and Buccaneers, that'd be a very, very good game. Because I really like the Rams in that matchup, but you cannot count out Tom Brady, especially with the team that's basically they had last year. Another very tough game and a very good game. But in the end, moving on to the championships, I really like the Browns. The roster that they've built is very, very, very good. Their passing game is definitely dangerous enough to shred up the Titans, who do not have a good passing defense, kind of switching things around there for their defense. And the Browns' defense is going to be really, really good to where they're not going to stop Derrick Henry, but I think they can slow him down enough and stop their passing offense to where I really like the Browns moving on. And then the Bills beating the Chiefs. Yeah, I think it's kind of their redemption year. They're coming back, and I think this time around they beat the Chiefs. I think this is the Bills' time. They're going for that Super Bowl right now. Josh Allen's coming out swinging. Their defense is really, really good. One thing that might hold them back is their lack of a ground game. but that could still get upgraded through the draft. And I still have hope for Devin Singletary because I do like what he can bring to the table. So Browns and Bills, very good game there. Packers pulling out a win over the Cardinals. Yeah, Cardinals are a very, very good team. I think they'll be even better the year after this. But, the Packers are just a better team. Aaron Rodgers, Matt LaFleur's in them. I think Matt LaFleur's already one of the best coaches in the NFL. Now, yes, he obviously has a very good team to coach, but there are a few decisions, sure, but that was literally just his second year coaching last year. Going into his third, I don't see any reason that this team's going to get worse. If anything, they're going to be better. And then the Rams pulling over the Buccaneers, maybe a controversial one because, like I just said, don't doubt Tom Brady, and it's the same exact team that just won the Super Bowl. Problem is, you cannot stay the same. You're not going to win back-to-back years if you're the same team, because people will figure out how to beat you. Them going 13-4 again is even, already amazing enough. Beating the 49ers, I just don't see them getting over the Rams, who have a really, really, really good team, especially with Matthew Stafford now. Another great matchup here with the Packers and Rams. And moving on to the Super Bowl, I think Browns aren't quite ready to make that leap yet. They're best team in the regular season. I just don't think they're Super Bowl ready yet, but, making a push to the AFC Championship is a great step for them. I have the Bills ultimately coming over here, for their shot at the Super Bowl. They want it this year. Then the Packers over the Rams. They want it. Aaron Rodgers has been cheated out too many times. He deserves to have won more than 2 Super Bowls, and he's going to try to make this year his third. I don't know if this is the Rams' year, but I think like the Rams and the Cardinals, like the year after this for the NFC Championship, is my early prediction, because those two teams would be very good in looking for that Super Bowl right then and that year. But for right now, for this year, the Bills and the Packers in the Super Bowl would be a fantastic game. Who do I think wins in that matchup? Well, we're going to have to wait, because first we have our award predictions. And as our MVP, I think Josh Allen. They're making it to the Super Bowl in this scenario, but I think he's going to have a monster year. 5,000 yards, leading the league, 40 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions, obviously leading them to a great record. I also expect Kyler Murray to have a very good year as well. I think he's going to kind of make up for some of the holes on their team, which puts them in the playoffs. They can fill like cornerback, maybe get a few more receivers, a tight end, and then upgrade that right tackle. There's no holes at that point. So I think Kyler Murray's going to be pretty good. And then Aaron Rodgers, I think he's going to have a pretty similar, not as good, but pretty similar year next year as well. Obviously there's a ton of other guys you can put in this conversation. Patrick Mahomes isn't even up here, and he's always in the conversation. So but MVP, I do have Josh Allen. Offensive Player of the Year, I'm going to give to Nick Chubb. These running backs have really started to kick it up, and Derrick Henry, I don't think he's going to regress per se. I just don't know if they're going to give him Offensive Player of the Year same 2 times in a row if he is the same or worse than Nick Chubb. And in this case, the Browns are 15-2. Nick Chubb, I think, puts up a monster year. I think he's going to have his best year yet. Then you have Stephon Diggs, who's obviously going to be up there in that conversation if Josh Allen goes as crazy as he does. And then Travis Kelce, I think, is in the conversation every year. Doesn't really get mentioned, but he should be, because he's like easily the best tight end in football and one of the best receivers in football. The dude's a monster, and he'll be great with the Chiefs as per normal. Then on the Defensive Player of the Year, another Brown, because I really do think they're going to have a monster year next year. Myles Garrett, I feel like this Defensive Player of the Year has been coming hit for him for a while. He could have won it that year where he, swung a helmet. But I think next year, though, I'm predicting big sack numbers, big tackle numbers, leading the league in pressures. I think this dude's going to be, maybe better than Aaron Donald next year, which you do see at number 2 right there, who, of course, every year is either number 1 or number 2 Defensive Player of the Year. He's an insane player, but I have Myles Garrett pulling out next year. And then Tre'Davious White. I think he's, again, the Bills are in the Super Bowl. They have a great year. I think he's going to be the best corner in football next year. Aside from maybe Jalen Ramsey, I think he's going to be pretty shut down and be in that conversation. But I do have Myles Garrett pulling it out here. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I have Trevor Lawrence. Pretty interesting numbers here, because I think he's going to throw for a lot of yards. He's going to throw for a lot of touchdowns, leading the rookies. I do think here's my prediction. I believe Trevor Lawrence is going to break Peyton Manning's rookie interception record with 29 interceptions. And that's simply just because, coming in as a rookie is already tough enough, but he has a problem staring down his targets sometimes. So I think that's going to result in a fair amount of interceptions in his first year. But I expect him to quickly pick out of it, after that first year. But just a final little prediction. And then, of course, he's going to have the best hair in the league. Obviously, that's going to contribute to his offensive rookie of the year. And then behind him, Justin Fields is going to come into a great situation there for the 49ers. Obviously they make it to the divisional round here in his rookie year. So I imagine he'll play pretty good if they're making it that far. And then Najee Harris, wherever he goes, he's going to be a game changer. Who knows? He could be on the Bills, which would obviously put them in where they are right now. He'll be pretty big game changer wherever he goes. He's Derrick Henry, but just not quite as good as Derrick Henry, which is still very scary. So, and then defensive rookie of the year. It's kind of hard for this one because it could be a multitude of players. I mean, it could be someone I'm not even listing here. You think Azeez Ojulari, Jason Owe, maybe one of the linebackers. It could be Patrick Surtain. It could be a bunch of different players. I'm going with Kwity Paye here. I think his landing spot is the Vikings or the Dolphins, and either one I think he's going to put up really good numbers for. I think he'll lead rookies in sacks, have some really good numbers, probably lead the rookies in pressures. But again, like I said, it could be any of these guys. Jalen Phillips could easily win it. J.C. Horn could be a great corner. You're number one because he really is just that type of a corner, especially if he does go to the Cardinals like I'm predicting. So, yeah, it's kind of a tough pick here. I'm going with Kwity Paye as of right now. My coach of the year is going to go to Matt LaFleur. It would be Kevin Stefanski, obviously, but he won it last year. Matt LaFleur, pretty similar here. 15-2 right here, leading the conference and the division for 3 years in a row now. So in his first 2 years, led the division. He does it again here in year 3. So yeah, he'll be pretty great. Sean McDermott, obviously, Bills go to the Super Bowl. They're pretty dominant. And then Bill Belichick for just taking such a lackluster roster from last year and then making it such a good one this year. I think he's in the debate every year, of course, but I have him here at 3. And then my comeback player of the year is going to be Saquon Barkley. I predict him have a pretty good bounce back here. Maybe not as good as some of the other running backs, but he's still going to be a very good running back. It'll be toned down a bit because he is on a pretty bad Giants team. But I think he's comeback player of the year. Other guys, obviously Christian McCaffrey, who was hurt, Dak Prescott. However, those guys just played a little bit more. I think coming back from a season where he only had 19 touches on the ball. I'm going to pick Saquon here for that. So, moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, for Super Bowl 56, your winner is the Buffalo Bills. It's a very tough matchup there with the Packers. I just think this is the Bills' year. I think Josh Allen's going to be the MVP. They could get Najee Harris, which would instantly give them a running game, which would be the last kind of hole on that team, I guess. Even then, they're still so deadly throwing the ball. I mean, if you look at their receivers, you got Stephon Diggs, who's going to be in that conversation for Offensive Player of the Year. They lost John Brown, but they picked him up. Emmanuel Sanders. They have Kenny Stills, as depth. Gabriel Davis looked great as a rookie. You have Cole Beasley, of course, and then the defense is just stingy. They can upgrade the defense with the draft too and have it be really good. Tre'Davious White's going to be shut down. They got a bunch of their guys back. I just think this is a team ready for a Super Bowl right now. I think Sean McDermott's a great head coach, and it's tough because, again, any of these teams could win the Super Bowl realistically, but I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills in this situation. So moving on, after the Super Bowl, this is what our draft order is looking like. Texans at that number 1 pick, and then the Lions right behind them. Some other interesting things to look at. The Broncos are a 10-win team, and they're picking at 13. Think about that. Everyone under the Broncos, right, 12 teams have below 10 wins. Everyone, including the Broncos, above 13, all have 10 wins or more. I mean, you're looking at here the Colts, right, who give their pick to the Eagles. I'll explain that in a second. They're an 11-win team outside of the playoffs. That's pretty insane. There's going to be a lot of good teams next year. Jets at number 15 get the Seahawks pick in the Jamal Adams trade. Eagles have Colts number 18 pick because that turns from a second to a first rounder if Carson Wentz plays 75% or more of their offensive snaps this year. Unless Carson Wentz gets hurt, yes, he's definitely going to be playing more than 3/4 of their plays. So that's a first-round pick for the Eagles. And then they also get a first-round pick from Miami, where they traded back from 6 to 12 this year, and Miami got that trade from the 49ers, and they're moving from 3 to 12. All confusing, but basically the Eagles are going to have 3 first-round picks more than likely next year, if not 3-2. Lions also get the Rams pick in the Matthew Stafford trade. So, yeah, here is our draft order. Like I said, there's going to be a 2022 NFL mock draft coming out probably tomorrow, if not the day after. So make sure to subscribe if you did like the video. Leave a like, hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thank you guys all for watching, and I will see all you dudes in the next video. Bye-bye.